Yes, and we are live, people in the Netherlands. Good afternoon. Today with Mr. Dave Weiss. Welcome, Dave. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's a little early here, but I'm up
Yeah,
and ready.
yeah. Because what's the time over there?
It's 7 a.m. It's not that early, but you know,
Okay, okay. And have you planned a busy night for tonight? Or
you are my first of 5 interviews today.
okay, okay, cool. Yeah,
So
because
yeah,
that was actually my first question. You have, of course, you have been involved with the flat Earth movement for a couple of years now, and as I just told you, that you were also a very big inspirator for myself. One of the best things you ever said, or is the sentence "We see too far," and it's a very strong argument, but which I heard from you for the flat Earth. But I also heard about some other strong arguments you have for the flat Earth. Can you name a couple?
well, the best one, I mean, my favorite is "We see too far." That's the one that got me. The boats over the horizon. Well, I live on the water, and so I got a P900 camera when they first came out, and started zooming in on things I shouldn't see. And that was, that's really all it should take to have anybody realize the Earth is not what they say. You know, if you do the actual math and with the actual real world observations, with some of the stuff that we can see, not even that far away, would require the Earth to be 100 or 1,000 times bigger than they tell us, which is a problem,
Yeah, yeah. And
right?
what could be the reason for them to hide this truth for us?
Well, that's a big question. We'll get into that in a second. My
Okay,
co-host
sorry.
Matt Long from the Flat Earth podcast, he someone says, you think the Earth is flat? His response is, and I like it, and I've used it a lot, is, well, I've never felt the rotation. I've never seen the curvature. You've never felt the rotation. You've never seen the curvature. Why do you think it's a globe? And then they come up with all the Flat Earth 101 questions: boats over the horizon, seasons, time zones, sunsets, and then we just take it apart from there.
Yeah, very good. Well, Holland is of course a very small country, and now I have been shadow banned for particularly talking about this subject for a couple of years now, and I lost many channels with many subs. But the fact that Holland is such a small country and I'm still alive talking about flat Earth, it has it really has an impact on the alternative media here in the Netherlands. They have to do something about this. So the flat Earth is of course very battled against, and that's also what we see worldwide. But do you think this truth will ever get a great podium, or will ever get out for the greater public? Or
It is getting out. If you look at my app, there's hundreds and hundreds of people jumping on the friend finder every single day. It is, and there's even shows people in Holland. I'm pretty sure. Are you on the
okay.
app?
Now I have the Zodiac app, right? Something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
Zodiac
You have the
clock app,
Flat
yeah.
Earth, um, Holland, Holland, right?
Yeah,
HOL.
with Amsterdam as the main city.
Oh, Amsterdam. Well, Holland's a country, right?
Holland's a country, but it's not a big country. It's like 15
H.
million people in total,
Am I
17
spelling
million.
Holland wrong?
Holland, double L, HOLLAND.
HOLL. It's not coming up. That's really weird. I got to look into that. Why isn't
Well,
Holland's not even on the freaking country list?
okay. Well, that's a thing about Holland, because what I personally found out when I dove into the flat Earth theory and everything is that there is, of course, maybe well, most certainly hidden countries or hidden lands, and
That
I
is
found
true.
out that. And I found out during the 16th century, during the days of the VOC, the East India Company and everything like that, when Holland dominated the world seas and everything, they also hit a few islands near the North Pole, and one of those islands was Frisia, Old Frisia, and Friesland or Frisia is a province here in the Netherlands with that old people, and I personally found out that those are also some kind of hidden sect here in Holland that controls everything or something. It's very conspiracy, but
Wow.
it's really true.
Where,
Yeah. Well,
where
and
is
they
Holland on here? Help me with my
yeah,
geography.
well,
Where is Holland on here?
Holland is west from Germany and
So,
Belgium,
so
east from the UK.
look at the map behind me. Where am I going?
Oh
Up,
yeah,
down,
yeah, I can
left,
see.
right?
Yeah, okay, you have to go left. You have to go left. Yeah, that's North Africa. Okay, the Spain. You have to go up. Yeah, yeah, and it zoom in there. It's now exactly in the middle. It's exactly in the
Right
middle
in
there.
here.
Yeah, left. It's the dark spots on the left. Yes, that's Holland. Yes, that's it.
All right. Well,
Yes,
there's
that is it. Yeah.
plenty of people there.
And
Plenty of people.
well, we are the second largest food producer in the world. So, and almost 80 or 85% of all maritime shipments go through the port of Rotterdam, and that's also a thing that comes from those VOC days. You know, in the time that we had a monopoly on the world maps and the routes and the trading routes and everything, and all the goods, you know, and stuff like that. And also with the founding of New York, we had played a big role, of course, uh, or with the founding of America as a whole, I guess. Mm. There is much to tell about this, but also a very big clue is that in Holland they tell us about those islands they have been hidden at the North Pole. That this is a fairy tale. That this is not true. And those Mercator maps, I have a map here around. You know the North Pole map from Mercator. You know,
Yep.
with the black rock in the middle and the islands around it. Well, they say it's all fake and everything like that. However, they recently have they built a mosaic art piece in the floor of the most important building in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, showing that island of Old Frisia, which is a fairy tale. So it's very telling, very telling. And again, it's also very much battled against because are many podcasters here in the Netherlands, and we are not met with that many people, of course, but they all have a very strong opinion that the flat Earth is the most bullshit ever story they ever heard. You know. But of
Well,
course,
we
it
all have
must.
the same story. I said the same thing when I first heard about it. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's a psyop. It's to discredit truthers, but only when you look into it, as you know. I'm sure you have the same story. Only when you truthfully look at it and don't just look at what Google feeds you, and you actually see. You wonder, all flat earthers have the same thing. We're wondering how we ever believed in the heliocentric model. It's
Yeah.
complete and total nonsense. And they brainwash people into believing it so strongly that they refuse to look at other evidence. I mean, that's what it's all about. And getting back to your question, why? It's because all of those blue dots I just showed you, all of them know the deception of the world, and they've stopped feeding the power, their energy to the system. So if everyone woke up to the flat Earth reality or the globe lie, let's not even say flat Earth because that's kind of triggering people.
Yeah.
Not a disc floating in space. There's hills and valleys and canyons, right? It's a topographical horizontal plane, okay?
Yeah.
Somewhere within a realm of consciousness, all right? So that's
Wow.
a
Yes.
whole
That's
nother
it.
thing. But once we understand that we're not on a spinning ball flying through an impossible space vacuum with stars quadrillions of miles away, which is absolutely nonsense, then you unplug, you take your power back, and you start living the life that you're supposed to live. And that's why they're hiding it. That's why it's the most important thing. That's why all of the space agencies in all of the world, all coordinated together, all the countries are working together. Why Antarctica's off limits? Why North Pole is off limits? All of this stuff, all of this effort is to maintain control over the cattle, and that's us.
Well, and how long do you think they can keep control of us this way?
I don't think much longer. I think
No.
about
I'm
the
planning to go
reset.
to the North Pole by foot,
Uh,
even if I have to. I thought I saw some kind of way on land to the North Pole in some ancient map or something or whatever. In my life, I want to go there. I'm pretty nearby, like 1,000 kilometers or something, like 2,000 kilometers. So it should be something within my reach to do in my lifetime, and I should also be allowed to do it, of course, because why is it also so much restricted? And I
so
personally also had to came from far to eventually start realizing a flat Earth. because before the flat Earth realization, I had a channel which was promoting space and everything around it. I was very fascinated by space, of course.
Me
Been
too.
my
Me
whole
too.
life. Yeah, I even had my whole arm tattooed with UFOs and aliens and everything like that. And I'm telling everybody
Wow.
now that it's all fake. So
Well, wait. I have two cats. I used to have three. One of them got taken out by a car, but it was Nephilim, Naki, and Zeta Reticuli. Those were
yeah,
the names. Those are the names of my cats,
yeah.
right?
Because
So,
it's
but that's
very
before I knew what the Nephilim were, and that's before I knew what the Anunnaki really were. They come here from the Earth plane. They're not coming from outer
yeah.
space.
And
So,
of course,
like,
there could be many things about our world what we don't know. But what do you think about the concept of a dome, or what do you think the flat world looks like in on a bigger scale?
yeah. Well, you know what? I'm a big fan of. Let me pull it up here. Here's the thing. Anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. Okay. Anything beyond we're speculating, but I kind of think the world is set up like this. We live here in the center. This is our pond, if you will, right? We've got our sun that goes around, and this is us, and this white line is Antarctica, and then outside beyond Antarctica is more land. Admiral Byrd, when he flew out there, he said there's more land bigger than the United States. And I think I heard somebody mention the other day that he said there was at least 5 continents bigger than the United States. Well, what's he
Wow.
talking about, right? What's he talking about? Is he talking about maybe the Earth looks like this? This is that Buddhist map that was published in 1910 in Hawaii. Maybe he flew out here and boom, a whole bunch of continents, right? They're huge. Look at the size of the United
Wow.
States. Look at the size of these massive continents out here. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's it. And then, is there a dome around us? I kind of think there is. I don't know. I'm not claiming that there is, but I think there is a solid dome. Lots of evidence, lots of whistleblowers, and then perhaps the world is set up like this. Here's our
Yeah.
pond, and here are other ponds
Yeah.
across the plane. Now that's scientifically impossible. The globe floating in space, spinning perfectly, where in a perfect unison like a clock. That's not even a possibility when you actually look at it. Think about, our every year we're corkscrewing through space, right? We're corkscrewing through space, traveling 4.4 billion miles a year. Okay, and somehow all of the stars reset every year, century after century, and they never change. Wait a minute, we're
Yeah.
moving. We're moving.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, the stars are so far away that even hundreds or thousands of years of 4.4 billion miles every year, never returning to where we were before. The stars don't have any parallax because they're that far away. Okay,
Yeah.
it's
And
absolutely
people are
retarded.
also very strong in their opinion that has to be the truth. But if they really think about it, this information is only told to you when you're 4 years old or 5 years old, and after that, never discussed.
I made a game. Where I had you have a big egg carton, like a 12 by 12 egg carton, and you start putting magnets in one magnet in each one, and you have to be careful where you put them because all of a sudden they'll just jump and they'll connect together. So you have all of these forces, that are constantly changing. Think about this. All of these planets would have all of their moons, and some of them have more moon. We just discovered 70 moons on friggin' Jupiter or whatever, right?
Yeah. That's
And
crazy, man.
they're all spinning and getting closer and farther and lining up and not lining up, and none of them affect each other, right? None of
Yeah.
them affect each other. Does that make any sense to you?
Well,
It makes no
what
sense
you
at
just
all.
said, the discovery of like 12 new moons around Jupiter. How is that even possible nowadays? And that
Yeah.
was never noticed. That it was never noticed before, or the fact that the Earth stopped spinning or something magnetically. Yeah, it's
Did
also.
you did you hear did you hear recently? I haven't looked into this. I've heard several reports on it. That they just discovered like 1,000 new islands around Japan that have never
A
been discovered
thousand new
before.
island. Yeah.
1,000 new islands
Well,
around Japan.
I heard
Okay.
something. I saw a podcast from you, and you were talking about something very
Well,
interesting. Some
just
kind of
because I mentioned it because I heard it somewhere doesn't make it true. But
no, okay,
I
but
need to
I
look into
heard
it
you
more.
talk
But I've
about
heard it
something.
through several sources.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
heard you
good.
something talk. I heard you talk about the island of Karabati or something, and some kind of cargo ship which was tracked or something, and insanely large, something like that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's show. I've been talking about that a lot, and anyone that's listening, like, oh,
Yeah,
here's
cool, man. That's a very
Kiribati
cool story.
again. But it's an important story, if you ask me. So here's that map I was showing you a moment ago, and so we there's a cargo ship. You can go on cargo ship tracking websites, and they'll show you all the cargo ships in the world. And you click on them, it gives you all the information: the ship size, brand, the captain's name, where it's going, cargo, tons of information. When it's going to get there, right? But then we found some ships that were deep inside of Antarctica, hundreds and hundreds, like 400 or 500 miles inside of Antarctica. Like, how does this ship get there? And when we click on it, almost zero information comes up. The other thing we got when we clicked on one of the ships out here was it's 580 meters long, 80 meters wide, which is massive. It's a massive, massive ship. And am I showing you? Yeah, I brought it up. All right. It's a massive, massive ship, and it was registered in the island of Kiribati. Okay. Where's Kiribati? If you go out in the middle of the South Pacific, I put a pin on where it is. Right, you can't even see this thing until you zoom way in. I mean, it looks like, oh, it's just ocean. You zoom in, and all of a sudden, here's this friggin' sandbar named Kiribati with a lot of weird places on it. It's got a town, Poland, London, Poland, Banana, like weird names. All right, I'm not making fun of the names, maybe I am a little bit. And then you wonder, like, what is a giant ship like that doing out there? And my thought is maybe it's a shipping lane where they're shipping stuff out to the out to the outer lands where there's advanced, maybe there's a trade route, maybe we're trading computer chips, maybe we're trading other technology, maybe there's human trafficking going on, maybe it's food, maybe it's friggin' tuna, right? Where does all the friggin' tuna come from? Right? Yeah. So who knows? But the thing is, I always say is, if there was a shipping lane out here trading whatever, how would you ever know? Because you've never even heard of Kiribati before, right?
And
never.
You're also not allowed to go there, of course.
You're also not allowed to go there. And then some of the, since I've been mentioning it, a lot of people have been going on Google Earth and zooming in and really exploring. And somebody found the Captain Cook Hotel. Okay? The Captain Cook Hotel. All right? They're not even near Antarctica. They got ships going to Antarctica. China just gave them $10 billion to a sandbar. Okay? What's going on? And the U.S. government is like, this is a very important trade island. Why is that sandbar important to anything? Well, it's a port, Yeah, it's a port. It's a port to the outer lands. Okay?
Yeah.
Nope. And I mentioned this in my last podcast. There was a guy, a technician from a computer chip company, and I got to find the interview where he was saying, they get these chips and they reverse engineer them, and they figure out how to make them better. Maybe they make them a slightly bit better, a tiny design change, but nothing revelation at all. And they work on them and work on them, and nothing happens. And all of a sudden they need a new chip. And the CEO goes, oh, here's a new chip, reverse engineer this. Where did that chip come from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Where did that chip come from? They didn't develop it. Okay.
Exactly.
So I think that these chips and technology is coming from good.
Yeah, well, because if you look at our recent past, and because like the architecture we see, like 200-year-old architecture, or the buildings in the United States, like the White House and things like that, is it also something you consider to be like coming from a lost humanity, or do you think what do you think about a process of like resets, that they're resetting this slave farm that we are, or something? Have you ever heard about something like that? Like what?
Oh yeah, please.
Talking about
underneath our friggin' Capitol building is another building buried. Okay, well, how did that happen? Right? And if you haven't looked into the mud floods, or you've gotten turned away by people saying, "Oh, Tartaria's, retardtaria," that's because the people that say stuff like that haven't looked into it properly. And for people that if you're like, "What, Tartaria? I've never heard of that." What do you mean our lost history? All of our history is alive, and I have the easiest place for you to dip your toes in. But let me tell you something: if you sit back on the couch and go to this Instagram channel and spend a half an hour flipping through his 1-minute videos, okay, you're gonna be overloaded with information. But I'm gonna tell you his name in a second. I want you to write it down. Everybody, get a pen, get your paper, get your note. He never makes any claims. He just says, "Look at this, figure it out yourself." He's not saying this is what happened, that's what happened. He is saying there was a mud flood, and he's showing you absolute evidence, but he's not saying exactly when it was, who caused it, why it happened. Was it man-made? Was it God-made? Was it just a natural order? And the name of the channel is all one word: I'm the Improbable Dreamer. I'm the Improbable Dreamer. Go to that channel, watch a few of his videos. As your mind is blown, go back to his first pinned video, and it says, "Buy me a coffee." Buy that guy a coffee, okay? Throw him $5, throw him $500, whatever you want to do. Just when you're totally blown away and addicted to his channel, please buy that guy coffee so he keeps doing what he's doing, because he's got videos of giants in the 1800s walking among people dressed in suits, okay, in New York City, okay? They're in Prague. Once you start digging into this channel, your entire worldview is going to be shattered. And here's the thing: some people, the people that say flat Earth is a psyop, some people can't handle their paradigm being shattered. They're so married to their ball and space and aliens that their subconscious will not let them look at new information that will challenge their world beliefs, because their entire life, their entire childhood, their entire adulthood has now been destroyed. Okay, but it's a good way. It's destroyed. Like, excuse me. We're not in outer space. We're not floating through infinite space. Aliens, disclosure, are not trillions and quadrillions and bazillions of miles and years away. They're here now, hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away, and it's all here now. Okay, and once you see that and unlock your mind from the prison of the ball, everything changes. Everything changes.
Yeah, it absolutely changed my life as well. And even though that it also shattered my paradigm that I had, and I was a fan of my own paradigm, I was actually very pleased to have it shattered by a greater truth like the flat Earth, which is a truly fascinating concept, especially the whole thing around it, that it's also made very ridiculous, of course. That how is it possible that people can believe this kind of nonsense? But instead it seems so logical, and it's for everybody to understand. And the coolest thing about it is you can destroy every scientist or some kind of educated mind, which in a flat earth discussion, because those people will never even go into the discussion with you. And they have tried, of course, with me, but they have failed miserably. So it's a very
here's
fascinating.
The thing. Any scientist out there, anyone that has a big show, anyone that is like, wait a minute, I'm slightly curious, but there's no way it's flat. Go to my website, flatearthdave.com, book Dave, get me. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a friendly conversation. Let me answer your questions. Let me answer all of your questions, right? Let me dispel your belief that what flat Earth is, because people that think the globe is stupid have two things in common. Think that flat Earth is stupid. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that think the globe is stupid. People that think that the flat Earth is stupid have two things in mind. One, they have no idea what their model is. They have no idea what their model is. What do you mean I don't know what my model is? I'm a ball in a vacuum floating with gas balls in a vacuum, and gravity is holding us holding us together, and that's complete and total nonsense. And the other thing they don't know is they have a false idea what flat Earth is. They have an idea that if flat Earth was what they think it is, nobody would believe in flat Earth because it's ridiculous. Well, no flat earther believes that. We live in a pond. Oceans of the world are just a big, giant pond, and the shoreline that surrounds that pond holds those waters in. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat. lie flat, lay flat. Don't shoot me, grammar people. Um, they lie flat, and the shoreline contains the water. That shoreline, excuse me, that shoreline is Antarctica. We live in the Antarctic basin, right? So how did they put our minds into prison? So imagine we cut out this map right between the white and the green, and then we wrap it onto a sphere. Okay, so all of that extra plane beyond us is taken off the table, and you now live on a ball. Right? You just put all of your thoughts into a ball, and there's nothing else beyond that. And people don't even imagine that there's something else on there because their core belief beyond, that was indoctrinated into them in their first years of school, Sesame Street, before they went to school, before they could talk, their world was put into that prison. And when you're in that prison and you know nothing else but that prison, you have no ability to think beyond it. Then they give you space, infinite space. And you're like, wow, there's definitely life out there, but it's so far away, I'll never see it within my lifetime. And you kind of just dilute your existence in infinite space. This is not where you live. This is a matrix. It's a prison for your mind.
And that is exactly what I've been telling my audience for the last couple of years. And the rise of the AI image generation. So I was trying out some kind of image generator, and I typed in just the word "the false indoctrination of humankind," and it gave a very particular image. Check this out: the false indoctrination of humankind, of mankind being falsely indoctrinated. This was what he came up with. This was the only prompt I've been using, and he came up with this ball Earth being the false indoctrination of humankind.
Can you send me that image, please?
Yeah,
Can you
of
send
course.
me that image?
I already knew that you would. Yeah. I will send it to you. No problem.
Email me that image. Hey, I want to point out to anybody listening, if you're a flat earther and you want to hone your skills, or even more importantly, if you are a skeptic, if you are like, wait a minute, there's something I need to learn more. We're having a summit this March 17th and 18th. It's Friday and Saturday. It's 2 full days. Well, it's almost a full day Friday, a full day on Saturday. And we have the greatest speakers ever. And it's going to teach you, and everyone's coming from a flat earth perspective, but it's going to teach you about, freedom and, why flat earth matters, and so many good speakers. And it's a virtual conference. It's going to be on Zoom. You can be in the VIP where you can ask questions, or you can just be a participant. And then you have access to it forever after that, in case you are busy during the day and you can't catch it all. It's going to be amazing. Check it out. Nobody remembers the website. TEMMS stands for True Earth Mount Meru Summit, but it's not even the True Earth Mount Meru Summit. That was before. This is the True Earth Equinox Summit. All confusing. All you have to remember is flatearthdave.com. Scroll down a little bit, giant banner. I highly recommend come. And I have a challenge. I give people my Flat Earth app challenge, where I'll pay you 3 Bitcoins if you come up with one proof after watching the Daily Go every day for 2 weeks. If you go to the conference and you can, after the conference, show me one proof that we live on the globe, I will refund your conference money and give you 3 Bitcoins and give you 3,000 ounces of silver. Okay? That's all.
Wow.
So if you think the Earth is a globe, you have nothing to lose by coming here.
Well,
so
in Holland,
check it out at
Yeah.
flatearthdave.com. Flatearthdave.com. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, in Holland there are many people that are chasing money like crazy, but I think that this will get none of them will respond to this, of course, because the Earth is not a globe, and it's pretty a decent amount. 3 Bitcoin is like how much is that?
It's like $75,000 bucks, 75,000 US dollars. That's for one proof of the globe. I love people. They go, the Earth is a globe. There's 1,000 proofs, and there's none for flat Earth. I'm like, can you give me one? And they're like, there's thousands. I'm like, can you give me one? Photos from space. I'm like, really? Photos from space.
It maybe a subject which maybe well, for me, it aligns with flat Earth. Have you ever heard of targeted individuals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, because I've been, and again, Holland is a very small country, and I wasn't supposed to have a stage online, even online. I wasn't supposed to have this, but I just through hard work, I'm still around here. But I forgot my question. Of course, sorry. Um,
Targeted
yeah,
individual.
targeted individuals. Well, since I've been making videos about the flat Earth, there are many instances of black helicopters over my house during the night. I have so many recordings of this. It's insane. It's insane. This is also the reason why my logo is a helicopter. So, have you ever experienced things like that,
You know what? I don't
or
allow that to
experienced
come
that you
into
have
my
been
life.
targeted sorry.
I vibrate on a different level. I believe I don't I think that that we all have control over way more than even people that are awake and aware understand. I think our reality really has to do with our minds, right?
Yeah,
So a lot of people say, you know what, this earth is so um cruel, people get cancer and die and horrible accidents and all of this stuff. What if your true self was pure consciousness? It, not Pure consciousness is non-physical, and then there's a spiraling down to the lowest density, that is our physical plane. So we're here in this physical plane while we are also at pure consciousness, and we are putting ourselves in here with amnesia to experience this world and expand the mind of the creator, which we are all part of the creator. What if
yeah,
that's how this construct worked? Okay. So we're here. This is amazing. Right. And our goal
yeah,
here is to figure it out and help other people figure it out. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah. Very.
that gets rid of everything. They say the only thing to fear is death and tax. What if both of those weren't true?
Well,
Okay. What if both
what
of
could
those
be
weren't
the
true?
reason? Yeah, but I also consider the false indoctrination or the influence
Yeah.
that the elites have as a
Yeah.
evil force,
Absolutely.
and which
Uh,
also can be dangerous, of course. So it's not without danger. So
no,
it's
it's
some.
with danger, but when you're playing a shoot 'em up video game and there's monsters coming after you, are you in danger?
No, of
Well,
course not.
your
Okay.
your avatar is in danger. And what happens when you get eaten by the monster or blown to pieces? You don't go, oh shit. Maybe you go, oh shit. Then you grab a snack and you go right back in. Okay. You go
Yeah,
right
yeah,
back in
yeah.
again. Okay. I'm not saying we live in a video game. I'm saying that what if there was no such thing as death?
I think you're
Okay.
right, man. I think you're right.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So just
I
getting back to one proof, people say the globe. Here's an official picture from NASA. NASA even admits it's not a photograph, but people don't want to pay attention to that. Look at the land. So I've circled here the amount of land. All the rest of the land is on the other side of this ball, right? If you believe in the globe, if you don't understand that,
yeah,
then
yeah,
I can't help you, right? So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is
That's
us
all.
just creating another world in Photoshop. No help from NASA. And at the end of this, you'll see that our one from our Photoshopped Earth looks better than NASA's.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Now,
yeah. Absolutely.
does that mean the Earth is not a globe? No, it means that you can create a pretty damn good looking Earth in Photoshop.
Oh, that's pretty funny, by the way. I never saw this, man. So you made
Yeah.
a CGI image better than NASA. It actually looks pretty good,
Better
man.
than NASA. It's way better than NASA. It's way better.
Yeah,
I'll
I
compare them.
also have a model of my own Earth that's what I was used during my presentation. But the thing you just mentioned, I always show it like this: the half of this Earth is just water. It's fantasy. It's a
Yeah.
place where we will never be. We don't know it, And it's also so easy for us to be, of course, misled by this ball Earth
NASA
theory because we,
flat Earth. NASA,
sorry. Okay. Oh
this is
wow. Oh
NASA's
wow.
image, and this is our image. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Yeah. Also, a very big clue is, of course, that with all the big fancy technologies and photo cameras, as soon as we leave our atmosphere, so to speak, then the stars are gone. It's not even a camera is able to pick one star up from NASA or whatever. It's also
Yeah.
very
What does
curious.
that say? Now, in the heliocentric model, that makes no sense. In the flat Earth model, I'll even say we can't make sense of it. Okay, that's fine. Because you know what? I always use the example my car has the catalytic converter. I don't think the car can run without it. I couldn't find it if you paid me. I used to think it was in the engine. Now I found out it's on the muffler. I don't even know what it does. Okay, that doesn't mean that my car doesn't work. All right, because
Yeah.
we
You
don't
just don't
understand something,
understand.
but we do understand that we can't be on a spinning ball, and we do understand that NASA lies. These are all NASA images of Earth. If you
Yeah.
can't see the problem, I can't help you.
It's absolutely crazy. And in the crazy part, maybe also is because a few years ago, like 2014 or something, just before I found out about the flat Earth, this was really convincing for me, actually. And I was totally into this ancient aliens and everything like that, space. It's fascinating, of course, and it's also put in your head like
Oh,
a CGI fascinating fairy tale.
look at all of the stuff, all the media now, and all of your life. They're now talking about um, aliens and UFOs. It's all about UFOs, and all the greatest movies, all the biggest movies in the world, are all about space. It's all about space, space,
Yeah,
space, 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 space. As a kid, talk to a kid. What do you want to be? I want to be an astronaut. Okay, they have astronauts and on Walt Disney and on Sesame Street and all, and the first worksheet you bring home from school is is uh is a thing about the orbits of the sun and the moon, and
yeah,
they
man.
make
It's
you memorize that
same thing.
because
Yeah,
if the foundation of your world belief is the ball, it's hard to let go of your ball. It's really hard to let go of your
absolutely.
ball. Here's another one,
Yeah,
NASA. This is the United States. Okay, where the hell are the rest of the countries on the other side of that ball?
yeah.
If you can't see that, I can't help you. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
insane, man. Absolutely
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And then, a bunch of years ago in 2017, they're like, the earth is dimming because, global warming and pollution. And they showed us this. Look what it used to look like in 1978. And when now into 2017, what they did forget is to change the clouds.
Yeah, I
The
see, man.
clouds are
My
exactly
God.
the same in both. And these are both from NASA. Okay. If this doesn't convince you that NASA is lying, I can't help you.
What do you think about Elon Musk and his endeavor to go to Mars?
Oh my God, Elon Musk. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
so on my website, flatearthdave.com, scroll down to the Elon Musk banner. There's a whole bunch of pictures of Elon. Watch that 5-minute video. If you can't realize that Elon Musk is a complete total fraud, again, I'm gonna keep saying it, I can't help you. So
Yeah,
this is it.
that's great.
I'm going to show you a video if I can find it of Elon Musk, an unedited video of a rocket launch by Elon Musk.
Um,
Where is it? Where is my? How come it moves? Things move on me all the time. So so again,
Exactly.
yeah. No problem. I'll find it in a second. Oh, I know where it is under SpaceX. SpaceX. I gotta move that. Um, where is my SpaceX? There it is. Here it is. Okay, so that's not it. Again, I lost it. Rocket. All right, fill in for me. Say something interesting while I'm
Oh
looking
yeah,
for this.
well, about the fact about Elon Musk, of course, being named by Werner von Braun in his book in the 1950s.
Oh,
That
yes.
in his imagination about a person named Elon going to Mars in the near future, blah blah blah, and ta-da! Here it happening. It's all predictive programming, just like the Ohio train wreck and things like that. Crazy stuff going on in the world nowadays.
Yeah.
All right, here it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Yeah. So for those who don't know, in 1957, Werner von Braun wrote a book about going to Mars and led by civilization. And a bunch of people that went to Mars, led by a person named Elon. Okay.
You can't make it up.
You can't make it up. All right, it's absolutely incredibly
Yeah,
dumb.
but I've never really seen. Yeah, well, I've seen Obama with his flat Earth quote, but is there any politicians being or any authority being getting questions about flat Earth or being forced to answer questions about flat Earth or something? Or do
The
they
only
ever
people
do
that
it?
answer questions about flat Earth are people that are ignorant that there's even flat Earthers out there, and then they get caught, in the crosswinds.
Yeah,
But people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, and Brian Cox, who we just call Lying Box, who said there's nobody that believes in flat Earth. No
yeah,
civilization, when every civilization in history believed in flat Earth. It's only the religion of NASA that changed it. All of our history is a lie. 2,000 years ago, the Greeks knew that's not true. Right in the
no,
mid
absolutely, yeah,
1900s, they were teaching flat Earth in schools here all across the
yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah. I saw.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, it's absolutely crazy, and I'm driving me crazy that I can't find the rocket, the launch that I did, but I have a longer video that I could jump to the middle, and I think it's in here. So
yeah.
this
Okay,
is
cool.
his this is Elon Musk's Star Hopper, okay, right? And it's absolute insanity. I'm trying to get this to the unedited video. Okay, where is his launch? Oh well, this
Yeah, I've been following
we'll go
his
here.
stuff lately. It's great. It's great. It's crazy stuff that
Yeah.
he
So look
is
at this.
posing.
Look at this. This is from Elon Musk, right? This little flame, right? Where's all the smoke? How come there's no more smoke, right?
Yeah,
How do we have this close up? So it's going up into space. Now look how high it is all of a sudden, and then we see this. Oh, cool. And then how do we have a side shot of it that looks like really
yeah,
low? So none of this fits together. And then it turns off, and it fall. Look how high it is. That is friggin' high. Okay, and it falls off, and it falls back to Earth and lands upright on a bullseye.
yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
crazy, man. That is insane, insane.
right, right. It's
Well,
and
and
then look at the
yeah,
smoke. Look how slow the smoke. This thing is free falling. Get something that's making smoke and hold it outside a car window at 100 miles an hour. Does the smoke do this? Right?
no,
This is
no,
going 1,000 miles an hour. Okay. Does the smoke do that?
crazy.
No,
No, absolutely
no.
crazy.
All right. This thing's falling
Absolutely
down.
crazy.
And then watch. It's free falling. This is free falling. Now, if you look at the smoke, no, wait, how's it so high all of a sudden? Right? And somehow it's just free falling beautifully. Woo! It's just
And it's
falling
a beautiful
perfectly.
side shot as well.
And then again, a beautiful side shot. Look at the smoke. This is actually going a little faster. And then it turns upright. That's really cool, right? Edit. Cameraman goes right underneath it, right?
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
of the three engines. Two of the three engines. Oh, they burn out. Okay. And then look at it. It just goes upright right there, and it goes down. Oh, so cool. And it lands upright. Okay. This is the edited one. I'm trying to find the
yeah.
um one
This
where
is
it's just
insane, man. And also,
yeah.
of course, now I'm 40 years old. So 30 years ago, I was also watching, completely mesmerized by astronauts floating in the ISS or whatever. And well, in during the last 30 years, not one simple scientific invention done in space, or they're still playing with water balls and doing stupid things in space stations and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
here.
so here's a spacewalk, right? So they're in this like snowboarding suit, right? It's loose. How come it doesn't expand and explode? Because they're in space. There's no air. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a balloon, just no air in it. And this is a balloon with some air. Gravity doesn't have the ability to stretch that rubber down, but a little bit of air is stretching that rubber in all directions, including up, where the air is trying to escape. How come this guy doesn't blow up? Like the
Yeah.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right?
Yeah.
It makes no
And
sense.
of course, the temperature, of course, also, I guess.
What's that? The
Well,
temperature?
on the day side, the temperature in space or should be well above 100 degrees or hundreds of degrees,
No, it's
or
like
in the night.
250 degrees or something. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah,
And then it goes
it's
below.
crazy.
It's a 500-degree swing.
And of
None
course, a
of
complete
that makes any
vacuum.
sense.
Yeah, It's insane, man.
Yeah, none of it
It's
makes any sense.
completely insane.
So think about this: the orbit of the Earth. Well, let's look at a few. And again, just seeing them fake that taxi thing a second ago is ridiculous. Here's another one. Here's an astronaut, and something happens. What happened? A little glitch. Okay. All right. So, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe that's something. Let's look at this. Here's an astronaut where his shoes are on the wrong feet. Okay, maybe he's just got a little space fatigue.
Wow.
Okay, he's got a little space fatigue. Let's just zoom in on that a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, they're definitely on the wrong foot, but that's they're in space. Give them a break. Things happen.
This is
Things
crazy.
do happen, right? And so we got this other live feed, and all of a sudden the colors invert. What the heck?
Oh, I have it sometimes as well. It might
Yeah,
be
the colors invert, these weird lines. I don't know that there's maybe something's going on, but you know what? Let's just call that cosmic rays are screwing with So
Some kind of
here's one with
disturbance.
Kamala Harris talking to the space station, and this guy, he's playing with his wire. Just that's so cool. It's
Yeah.
zero gravity. But if you zoom in on this wire, it goes through his wrist. Watch it go right through his wrist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so fake, man.
It goes
It's so
right through his wrist. Watch this time again. It goes down and through his wrist. Okay. So it's not real.
crazy.
But you know what? But that one, that's just a low resolution camera. Let's just say cosmic rays again. They're playing soccer in this laboratory. Oh, what happened? His head went out of range. Okay. His head went beyond the green screen and things got a little screwed up. Right? Look at that. Right? That's crazy. So, but what about, when they film out the window and we see, this is from, this is years ago. They're like, hey, we're here we're in the space station and we're coming up the space station. This is them approaching the space station. Did you see what happened? Look inside. It's inside. Oops. What the hell? Okay. This is literally approaching the space station. Okay. Come on. You could do better with a with a disposable camera. You could do better.
I saw some footage a few days ago, and it was pretty recent footage in which they zoom in on like the ISS, and it was like a toy. It was just it was looking like a toy. It was.
I featured that on the app. You might have seen it there. She's closing this window, so there's a rod going outside, and no way the air slips through there. They have great O-rings. Okay, she's not even looking. She's looking at a monitor and imitating the images. Okay.
Oh wow.
It doesn't even match. She's looking at a monitor as she does this. Look at her. But here's the worst thing is, in the military, do they let women have long hair? I don't think so. You're in space where everything's floating. Right? Why do women have long hair? And this is short. All the other women have long hair just because all the kids go, oh, that's so cool. They're in space, right? But there's a problem. There's a couple problems here. Look at her makeup. Okay, look at her makeup. How do you do makeup that good in space? Why are they? I mean, well, they just want to look good, And look at her hair. That's a good hair day. That's a good hair day. They don't have showers. They don't have showers up there. Okay. They're supposed to work out for 2 hours a day, so they sweat their asses off. Look at her freaking hair. Okay. All right.
It's crazy, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the one time it was also an astronaut almost drowned in his suit, right?
Yes, absolutely. I have a video coming out on the app next week about that.
One of the most painful lies that they were exposed with was NASA with the accident in the 80s, was it Discovery or something that blew up, and that all those people are still alive or have transformed into their twin brother or something.
Right. So have you watched the movie Level and The Next Level? The two movies?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. So on Flat Earth Day, April 22nd, 2023, Level with Me is coming out by Sean Hibbler. Another, this is now a trilogy that I have a challenge. 10 Bitcoins if you can watch all three of those movies and then come up with one globe proof. Okay, the new one coming out on Flat Earth Day. We've hijacked Earth Day. It's going to blow your minds, and we have a massive section in there about the Challenger, about the space shuttle.
Very cool. So this is the 22nd.
What's that?
So the
It's April
22nd.
22nd. Yeah, you'll
April
see it if
22nd,
you
right.
have my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You're going to get a notification. You're going to see it
Yeah,
everywhere,
I will
except
be
if you.
promoting. We'll be promoting everything and putting all the
Yeah,
links afterwards because
yeah.
this is not a normal workspace for me. Normally, I work with other programs. Never mind, it will be all there in there. Very cool, man. Very cool. What a cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and here's what you're talking about. Six
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
seven, we found them. They have identical twins, speak alike, have the same names, everything. And there's amazing things we know about them that that there's no doubt that it's the same person. And the other thing is, none of their siblings, their twins, showed up at their funerals or spoke at their funerals. And now they
Wow.
all go around the world speaking about their brother or their sister.
Oh wow.
You
Yes,
know,
they
and
do.
then promoting
Oh
NASA. It's absolute
wow.
insanity. And
Wow, that's insane, man. I thought they were
we
just kept away or something.
we have some new stuff that's going to be in Level with Me. You can
Cool.
find that you'll be notified on the app and everywhere else. April on Flat Earth Day, so April 22nd. April 22nd. Yes.
Cool.
And
Cool.
it's mind blowing stuff. Since we're on the space shuttle for a second, the space shuttle goes up and then they drop their external tank. This thing weighs 20,000 pounds empty. It's steel. And they say that it burns up it atomizes before it hits the ground because of its speed.
Wow.
This is it falling back to Earth. Now watch right here. You're going to see a piece of tissue float by in about 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Okay. Just watch. There, you see it? It went by.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Right.
shows
Yeah.
you this is floating. It's not falling. It's floating.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you if we're underneath it or above it. If we're looking up at the clouds, or is it above the clouds and we're looking down? Maybe we're looking down. Who knows? But
Yeah.
it's
It
falling.
could be anything.
It's falling. It's falling. How could they be filming it? Is this a skydiver free falling, filming it?
Yeah.
And keeping up with it? And here's the other problem. This is being filmed by an astronaut that's on the shuttle that's going into space at 25,000 miles an hour up. So he's going up at 25,000 miles an hour. This thing's free falling, and he's filming it for an extended period of time. If you can't see the problem with that, nobody can help you.
That's even a better thing to do, a greater thing to do than the astronauts on the moon in those days. That took like 5,000 photos. That means every 30 seconds a high quality shot studio photo of the moon surface. It's crazy.
In the app on the more resources page, if you scroll down to right here, rockets are balloons, there is some amazing life-changing footage in there. And one of them, I have that same footage, but extended, and you see something like a weird, like anomaly. And then we went in and changed the contrast. You can see that it's a camouflaged aircraft of some sort that looks like it's trying to retrieve the tank in the air. Okay. We can't really make out exactly what type of craft it is, but it has some sort of cloaking device on it, some sort of video mirroring on it, and it'll blow your mind. This button alone is worth the $3 for the app. Okay,
cool. Well, I think that there is next to all the land that's been hidden from us, also very much technology, of course, that has been hidden from us and that is used against us. And I think there are many generations ahead of us in technological
oh my God,
possibilities.
absolutely. But and that's because they have access, in my opinion, to civilizations, lands that we don't know of. If there's any truth to that story, they found 1,000 islands or even one island, near Japan. That tells us that there's huge swaths of this world of our pond that are uncharted. Okay, And there's a lot of evidence that it happens with those Malaysian flights that disappeared, and
Yeah.
the ships that were looking for them. Some of them disappeared for a couple of days, and that's because they went into truly uncharted waters. Right? When you wrap a circle, right, which is it's a circle is described on a plane. You wrap it around a sphere. Well, there's huge swaths of ocean of area that you have to remove to make it wrap on, right? Because you can't just wrap it on. And so those are hidden by GPS. GPS is run by NASA. So you're out there navigating. GPS is like, this is that direction, that's that direction. And you could cut out a huge swath of ocean where there could be continents. We don't know.
Yeah.
And let alone what's beyond Antarctica. Well, who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's
it's
tons
very
of evidence.
fascinating to think about it. Yeah, very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Have you in the books section on the app, have you read the Iron Republic? A great movie, great book about in the late 1800s, somebody who crossed the ice wall and found an advanced civilization with flat screens and floating cars and a whole different way of government and all sorts of stuff that, like, wait a minute, how did they even know about stuff like that back then? And whether it's true or not, they were talking about more land beyond Antarctica. And then another one, which I highly recommend. It's literally a very short book. This whole series is The Navigator Across the Ice Wall.
Yeah,
okay?
That's a very cool stuff. I also read that one. Yeah, that's crazy, man. There's
three.
story.
There's 3 books. There's 3. You have to get all 3 now. It's amazing. And the Navigator Across the Ice Wall. That one, to me, takes the story of Star Wars and just brings it down here on Earth, right? The neutral zone. Like from Star Trek, the neutral zone is 60 degrees south. Okay, that's the neutral zone. No one's allowed to go there. Then beyond that are all of these other planets, pieces of the plane, little planets. Okay,
exactly.
And some of them are friendly, some of them are not friendly, some of them, have trade routes, some of them share technology, some of them want humans dead. Who knows? Okay, it's literally Star Wars. And in the book, if you remember, they said all human beings are connected to the source, and if they honor that connection, they're very powerful beings. Well, what does that sound like? That sounds like the Force. The Force from Star Wars.
Before Flat Earth, were you in any kind of a religious man or thought about fate or God or something?
I'm definitely not religious now, and I was pretty much an atheist. But when I say religion to me is a trap.
Exactly.
They're literally trying to pigeonhole you again. Religion, it's more of an understanding that we are part of this creation. We're all together. Every point, the point in this microphone, the point ball, the point in the tree outside, the point and next to you, in you, they're all connected. Everything is connected. Okay. And people are like, that's too much for my brain to understand, right? But everything's connected. Once you understand that,
inspiring message.
Yeah, once you understand that, then you understand how your thoughts create your reality.
Exactly.
Everyone listening, everything in your life, everything, good, bad, or indifferent, is your own fault. You are your worst enemy. You are your best friend, right? You are in control. And they have us believing that they're in control and we're not in control. Okay?
Exactly,
no one has power over you other than in your own imagination. And they've captured your imagination with the globe, with movies, with nonsense. Okay?
Exactly, man.
Listen, I don't know who's listening, but if there's one person that's listening, come to the summit, right? Go to flatearthday.com, click the summit, and then when you're buying your ticket, it asks you to pick somebody you want to support. You can pick me, David Weiss, or you can pick anyone else you want, or you can say, you know what, split it. And what it does is like a good portion of your ticket price goes to support content creators, because content creators, NASA gets $80 million a day to lie to you. We're trying to expose it, and nobody wants to pay us. We're shadow banned. We're hidden. Nobody wants to support us. So this is a way where the ticket buyer gets an amazing amount of information, so you win. And you also get a bunch of giveaways that usually add up to more than what the ticket's worth. Secondly is the presenters get support so they can keep doing this research, right? and everybody
man.
wins. It's really a great thing. And I highly recommend come to the summit. It's coming up soon. Like it's next weekend.
Next
The week
weekend,
after
yeah,
this.
7
Yeah.
days, 8 days.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's next weekend.
we'll certainly, I will certainly be there, man. I just really want to thank you. A big thanks from Amsterdam or the Netherlands, and for this nice talk, man. Very cool.
Thanks. Just remember flatearthdave.com, because a lot of people can't remember TEMMS.live. And then you just like, what was that again? Flat Earth Dave. That's me. Flatearthdave.com. Everything's there. The app is there. Book Dave is there. More resources, my interviews, everything. This interview is already on the website. It's already on the app. If you go in the app, check this out. Ready? I go to the app, and then right here. Oops, I'm not showing you the app. Let me show you the app. So on the app right there, it says interviews. And if you click that, it'll give you all of my recent interviews. And boom, here we are. This is us right here. Right.
Oh, cool,
so
man.
here are
Very cool.
here are all my interviews. And if I actually tap it, up comes us. There we are. Look at that.
All right,
There I
man. Hey, very nice. Okay, then. Well,
All right.
I will be also editing this video and use this with my other Flat Earth content. For my viewers, there is also a lot of more Flat Earth content coming up, like within an hour. So stay tuned. And again, David, thank you very much for your time, man, and for this nice conversation, man.
All right. Hope to see some of you guys at the summit, and you'll meet some new friends. You'll even, especially if you're a flat earther, it's a great place to get together, interact in the chat. I'm not sure how many VIP tickets are left, so it's still good. You still have lots of interaction in the chat, and we all we read the chat, so you can come there. And if you're not a flat earther, it's really difficult to get people to go, well, I'm not spending $50 on that. But it'll change your life, and it's really worth $5,000. Okay, but it's only 50.
Cool.
So there you go.
Okay, cool, man. Thanks again, Dave. Bye bye.
All right, thanks, man.
Okay,
See ya.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.